Everybody loves the American campfire. Don't you hear it calling your name? Everybody loves the American campfire.
According to my Real America's Voice team, I'm coming live to you in 3, 2, 1. Here I am, everybody. Happy hunting season. Do you feel the physics of spirituality stimuli that is taking over the heretofore coming autumn? What is it called? This autumn solstice? I didn't learn that in school. See, I didn't go to college. I was too busy learning stuff. And what I learned is that you have to balance your life, in my case, between the most dangerous, fire-breathing, rhythm and blues, rock and roll, soul music, outrage, musical adventure ever unleashed upon mankind. I did that. It's so much fun. And it's so intense, I almost kill myself every night. So what I learned by the time I was, 3 or 4, I was already getting inspired by Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley and Little Richard, so I wanted to get a guitar. But something struck a chord in me because my dad, Warren Henry Nugent, fresh from World War II in Korea, wanted to get all those ugly, ugly, horrible experiences out of his mind, and he went to the ultimate source of sanctuary, the mystical flight of the arrow. And so even though my dad was a bow hunter when I was born in 1948, I had this flame-throwing juxtaposition between the serenity, the soul-cleansing martial arts, I couldn't have told you that back then, but I could figure it out by the time I was a teenager, mystical flight of the arrow that completely calmed yet invigorated me, and the firestorm of Chuck Berry, Little Richard musical inspiration. And what I did is every day I'd go down to the Rouge River, right in the city limits of Detroit. It was a wildlife paradise. And I'd get my little bow. By the way, I have my little U longbow, U, Y-E-W, it's a wood, a U longbow. 1955, I got my U longbow. I think it's like 16-pound draw. And then here it is 100 years later, actually 76 years later. I was born 76 years ago. And to this day, my old guitar player, Ted Nugent, I get my Matthews bow every morning, and I discover the mystical flight of the path of my life. And I've always said, Fred Bear was a mad scientist, but now Matt McPherson and the modern bow mad scientists have created the most efficient, natural pointing bows, and I shoot a Matthews. I got a new lift, and we've got Mark Hayes from the wilds of Wisconsin from Matthews Archery. Mark, does everybody at Matthews really grasp that I am the mystical flight of the arrow? Do they know that I don't shoot arrows? I am the path of the arrow. Do you guys actually grasp that?
Morning, Ted. We do. We share in that. You started talking about shooting your wood bow. That's how I got started. And that's how I started to love that flight of the arrow, is that instinctive shooting. We have a lot of people here that started that way. You mentioned Fred Bear too. We have one of our engineers still works here. Gary Simons worked hand in hand with Fred Bear. So that blood and that knowledge is still in the halls.
Well, Mark, you said, again, I'm the only guy that has shot a bow and arrow on stage for the last 60 plus years, 65 years. I shoot my bow on my media. When I was on with Jesse Waters, I shot my bow, and everybody commented. I got word from Fox News that everybody was fascinated when Ted Nugent shot the bow live on. It's the origins of Zen. It's the origins of martial arts discipline. And Mark, as the design engineer at Matthews Archery, I reference you guys in the most loving way as mad scientists. You have created, this is my old Halon. I'm shooting a new lift and what's the other one? The Image. But you come up with this stuff, and this is not necessarily modern, because we're talking about some of the first compounds going all the way back in the Chinese era, in 700 BC. But you guys have created engineering where these arrows from Shemane's 30-pound Matthews is more efficient than a 70-pound longbow. The arrow is straighter, the kinetic delivery is more focused. How mad of a scientist are you, and how much time do you spend in the dungeon coming up with these micrometer measurements? I mean, you guys are, people think I'm crazy. Well, next to you, I'm like so normal, because you've got to be in a dungeon creating these Matthews bows that are just perfection. How do you do that, and how did you get into it?
Well, mad scientist is like mad. We are trying to redesign the oldest projectile motion weapon in history. So it's definitely an uphill challenge. The way we do it, and I love it because
Did I lose him?
Matt.
Oh, there you go. I got you.
You got me? Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
The way we do it, and the way Matt has done it forever, is we look really internal. And so we try to make what was last year's best thing ever. How can it go one step further? And that, in a nutshell, is engineering in general. Is now that we can do this, what else can we do? And we're all enthralled with the mystical flight of the arrow, and we want people to put in as little effort as possible and get the most out of it. You talked about a longbow. Not only is it more efficient, but you're not holding the 30 pounds back. So not only can we make the whole experience more comfortable and easy for people to get into, we can direct the energy that you need to take down any game in North America, or the world for that matter.
Yeah, well, Levi Morgan is a big hero of mine. This guy is like a guru. This guy is shooting at 100 yards like I aspire to at 25. But I always emphasize to people that archery is for everybody. We have paralyzed people shooting the bow. We have armless guys shooting the bow that literally hold the bow with their feet and draw with their mouth. These are superhuman beings. And I call you guys mad scientists, because here it is, 2024, and like Remington ammo, it's so efficient, it's so reliable, it's so accurate, it's so impacting, it's so ballistically coefficient. And the arrow delivery from a Matthews bow would have blown Fred Bear's mind, because I got to know Fred intimately and hunt with him for over 40 years. So I got to tell you, Mark, you be sure to convey to everybody at Matthews there that it's not just a discipline and a sport and a recreation, because recreation is to recreate our spirit and recharge our batteries. But I'm going to tell you, my American dream happiness literally pivots on my outdoor conservation, resource, responsibility lifestyle. And once I discovered, how long have I been with you guys at Matthews? It's got to be 25 years now, whatever it is. You just tell everybody there that I hunt with people every weekend. Our Sunrise Safaris is sold out every week. And people, our quality of life, these people express this emotionally, as I do, that when I draw my bow back, there's no Joe Biden. There's no child molestation. There's no engineered recidivism. So it's more than just fun and discipline. It really is an enhancement to quality of life. So what would you recommend to someone who wants, I've never shot a bow, what do I do? Mark Hayes, what would you recommend a brand new archer tries out?
That's a great question. We get it a lot, but we have a great team of retailers across the United States. Go to a retailer, get in a pro shop, and try a bow. I got to give you credit too, Ted, that you mentioned the image. That was designed because of something you told one of the guys here, that you give a lot of feedback on the lower draw weights. It's quieter, it's easier to pull back. Can we still do that and deliver energy fast? And that's where a bow like the image falls in. The lift now is more range than ever, and we're talking draw lengths, draw weights, so the bow can fit whoever's walking through that door. And a pro shop is going to be the best way to do that. And on our website, find a retailer. But we love it. We want to continue to build products that make the whole archery experience better. That's our ethos. But we also are a manufacturing company, and we do it all in the States. We want to give people great jobs. We want to manufacture the most advanced aluminum risers in history. We want the most efficient limbs, cams that look almost impossible to make. We want that. And we also want to keep pushing the limits. How fast can we push an arrow? How efficient can we make it? But how enjoyable can we make it for anybody, so that when you do go out to the backyard and shoot, it is quiet. It is not violent. It's just perfect.
Yeah, well, Mark, you guys are accomplishing that. It really is a joy. I'm 76 this year, and I've already killed 9 whitetails. I killed a bunch of hogs on our Sunrise Acres. I got a woodchuck the other day, which is like a world record, I think. So my point is, you tell everybody at Matthews that we all love what you're doing. You really are mad scientists, and your dedication, your work ethic is a testament to what the Fred Bears and the Howard Hills and the old guys created. And these are the good old days of bow hunting, the good old days of archery, and a lot is attributed to what you guys are doing. So stay in that dungeon as long as you can, and keep reaching for the impossible. God bless you, Mark, and tell everybody at Matthews I live their dream every day.
Will do. Thank you, Ted.
All right, Godspeed, buddy. Have a great season. Well, listen, everybody, thanks for celebrating Real America's Voice with the old Detroit Muscle Barbecue Daddy. Detroit celebration of work ethic, God, family, country, Constitution, Bill of Rights, 10 Commandments, Golden Rule, the Declaration of Independence, that work ethic, law and order. Have a wonderful Labor Day weekend, because every day is Labor Day. Yep.